Hello, everybody. Dr. F Scott Feil here, and I wanted to give you a quick update on our main sponsor, Ice Shaker. If you're looking for a water bottle, a coffee cup, a protein shaker bottle, I have great news. Your search has ended. Ice Shaker has shaker bottles, tumblers, sports bottles, and the newest addition, and my personal favorite, the gallon and half-gallon jugs. These bad boys are both massive and sturdy and keep drinks cold for hours on end. This has been my answer to making sure I drink enough water throughout my day. I've still kind of come around to the protein game and I'm new at it still, but when my doctor advised me to increase my protein intake, I turned to powdered shakes. Every other shaker bottle on the market had its issues, but Ice Shaker is the only one I tried that was vacuum sealed, had no issues with clumps or smell, and it really kept my drinks the right temperature. I love this product and I love the company and the guys behind it as they are doing amazing things and simply winning. Not only in the world of shaker bottles and sports bottles and tumblers, but in the game of life. Their partnerships and charitable donations have not gone unnoticed by the Professors of Profit Pops crew. So if you want the best beverage consumption and protein shaker solution on the market, check out the link in our show notes to grab yours today. You can even customize them with laser engraving, just like I've got here for our pteducator.com, right? And, I promise you won't be disappointed with these stainless steel products. They're all colors, all sizes. You've got to check them out. Ice Shaker, let's shake things up. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Professors of Profit vlogcast. I'm your host, Dr. F Scott Feil, and I've got with me today a special guest, Dr. Marek Kiczkowiak. Not too bad, right? Pretty close.
Pretty close. Yeah,
All
pretty
right.
good, man.
Well, Marek, you are the CEO of Academic English Now. Tell us a little bit about that. What is that exactly? What services do you offer in that company?
Sure. We basically, in one sentence, we help PhD students and researchers write and publish research papers in high impact Scopus index journals.
I love it. I love it. So essentially, dissertation coach, thesis coach, academic writing coach. How on earth did you get into that from your background of PhD? Like, how did that come to be?
Well, I have a lot of background in, like, first of all, teaching English. So I started teaching English, like, gosh, like 13, 14 years ago. First it was like general English, then I started like teaching more like IELTS preparation, those international exams. And then I started teaching at universities, teaching academic writing, academic English overall, and yeah, and then I did my PhD as well. And then, like, kind of combining that, I suppose, that practical experience of doing a PhD, publishing papers, and then teaching on academic writing courses at universities. I I suppose I started seeing what is working and what isn't working and what is missing from those university courses. And yeah, I thought I would develop something of my own to fill the gaps, because clearly things aren't working very well for most PhD students. Even though most universities have free academic writing courses, a lot of PhD students still struggle. And I could see kind of why. We can dig into reasons why. Um, so I think I was kind of maybe in a unique position, that I'm an English teacher by profession, right? But at the same time, I did my PhD and I published papers. So, like, I've done what my clients want to achieve. Plus, being an English teacher, I can explain to them kind of, the ins and outs, I suppose, of grammar, what have you, right? And then at the same time, I've also taught those academic writing courses, right? So it's kind of like a combination, I suppose, of different skills and experiences, that makes it unique.
Yeah, yeah, you've done a phenomenal job of stacking skill sets that you've used in your real life to then put together the perfect combination of how you can help people. So I love that. Tell us a little bit about your journey on creating this company, because it kind of started like as a little bit of a side hustle or a side gig, but then it really grew and now it's a full-time gig for you. So tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, so, like, basically what got me, like, to actually develop and design like my first online course was, um there was, this person that I knew from university, from working at a university, who reached out to me, and he was like, hey, I've got this group of PhD students, and like they're really struggling with writing. Can you develop a course for them? Right. And I was like, sure, I could do that. And then I just said, like, as long as it will remain my course and I can continue selling it on my website. And then he said yes. So he basically paid me a sum of money to develop a course that then became mine. So that was kind of like the trigger for it. And then for many, many months, like it's funny actually, like for many, many months, I tried selling it like for like $90, 199, 19, and like nobody would buy it. Like, and I just couldn't figure it out like at all. Like I think, sort of between like maybe June and October or November that year, like I must have maybe made like $1,000 or something like this, like nothing. Fortunately, I was working full time at the university, so I wasn't strapped for cash, but it was just like really frustrating. I couldn't figure it out, why people aren't buying. And then, I mean, what really changed it for me, like I'm not gonna lie that like I discovered some magic principle of business on my own. That's kind of bullshit. Like when people say that, like, everybody like kind of learns from somebody. So like I just enrolled on one of Sam Avens courses that like people might be familiar with. Sam Avens and consulting.com. He sold it now, but like it used to be like the biggest coaching business, consulting business in the world, probably. And yeah, I bought one of his programs, and that just changed my life. It changed my business. It changed everything for me, because like, first of all, I went from charging like $100 to charging several thousands of dollars for the courses. The courses became so much better. The results of clients became so much better. And I started making sales, actually. I went from like not selling anything for 6 months to selling like 20 clients every single month, like clockwork. So that just like completely changed everything. And yeah, and also not just that I finally had the money to quit my job at the university and just devote to it full time. But also I was actually helping people, because also if you're not selling to any clients, then it means you're not helping anybody, right? You might have like amazing information that could help thousands of people, but nobody is buying that information, right? So that was a big change as well, that I actually started helping people, and people started getting amazing results. So yeah, that's kind of the short story. And then from there, it all kind of, well, exploded in the sense that I was like getting clients regularly, and then I started hiring people, and started growing the company.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big proponent of paid mentorship because it speeds up your timeline. They kind of show you, coaches and mentors can show you mistakes that they've made, and really show you how to avoid those mistakes so that you don't make the same mistakes. And like you said, at the end of the day, they're helping you or helping their clients get the results, that they've gotten. So, I'm
Yeah.
a big proponent of paid mentorship for sure.
And I would have never figured it out on my own. That's for sure. Like, because if it had taken me 6 months and I had like literally like a dozen clients and like maybe $1,000 to my name, I would have never figured it out on my own. And at that time it was expensive for me. It was like more than my 2 months of full-time salary at university. But it was totally worth it, because that first year, like the company made 2,500 to 250,000 in revenue, and then the next year it made 500,000. So like paying 10K for mentorship is just totally worth it.
Right. And it is a little bit of a mindset shift. I think people need to realize it is an investment in yourself and in your future. But like you said, it's totally worth it at the end because the output, far justifies the cost of investment.
Yeah.
So, Marek, let me ask you this then. Like, what, if somebody's thinking on starting like a coaching business or, an academic tutoring or writing business where they help people do this, what kind of advice would you give to somebody just getting started or just getting the ball rolling on their own business in some sort of academic coaching?
Please don't. I don't want any competition. No, I mean, it doesn't really matter what niche you're in or what, like, is it academic coaching or any other kind of business. Like, I think, like, there's lots of lessons that I learned from Sam Ovens, but like the biggest one for me that like completely changed everything was that you have to find like the niche and you have to find the problem. And then you have to offer a solution to that problem. Like nobody is going to pay $1,000, let alone $5,000 for an academic writing course. That's a load of nonsense because like they can get an academic writing course for free at the university, right? Nobody's going to pay you for like sorting out their grammar or helping them write a better paragraph. That's, well, they might pay you like $10 an hour, right? And that was my problem. I was just like another academic writing course, which, you know, there are thousands on Coursera for like $9, right? So that's a problem. Like you've got to find like a specific problem that people have and offer a specific solution to that. It's really kind of that simple. There is no more to it, you know. There's obviously lots of steps that you need to take to find that problem, and then you refine it over the years. So I went from like, you know, sort of like helping people maybe write a thesis or a paper to now like, you know, our proposition is like for one of our programs is that we'll help you to publish 3 or more papers in Scopus Index journals in the next 12 months. That's a very specific proposition that's targeting a specific segment of the market. Not everybody wants that, right? But if you want that, then, well, who are you going to look for? Well, you're going to look for me because that's what I offer, right? Whereas there's like, you know, for example, one of our competitors that I know, they're specifically working just on dissertations. That's the only thing that they do. So like if you want help with a dissertation specifically, that might be a better choice for you, right? So you might be thinking, well, but then Marek, you're losing clients. It's like, yes, but like you're winning so many more clients and you're charging a premium because you're solving a very specific, very painful problem for them, because you can't solve all the problems for them, right? You can solve one specific problem. So the analogy is kind of like, you know, if you think about doctors, you know, if you go to a general practitioner, I mean, how much is a general practitioner gonna charge you? Like in Costa Rica, where I live, they would charge you maybe like, you know, $50, right? If you go to a neurosurgeon to have a surgery on your brain, they'll charge you not $40, but more likely like 4,000 or 40,000 bucks, you know, because they have, you know, and then they don't care about all these other like kind of specialties. They've got their specialty, you know, so you become like the go-to expert. So I think just figure out like kind of who you're serving, who that person is specifically, and it's got to be very specific. Like you've got to know them better than they know themselves, really. Like I could, you know, I could paint the picture of like my ideal client avatar probably better than they can themselves, in a way, you know, predicting the problems, goals and stuff like this. And then you want to know like what problems do they have, and then kind of pick the most painful and problem and the one that brings the biggest rewards as well for them, right? And then offer a solution to that problem, you know. So to give you examples, like if you wanted to go here, like you could be helping PhD students or postdocs with careers, for example. You know, a lot of people ask me about that, like, well, how can I get a better job? Like, well, I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's not something that I do. Like a lot of people ask me, well, how can I apply for a PhD? I don't know. Well, I kind of do, but I don't help with that. And people have asked me, well, why don't you set up a course on that? It's like, well, because I would be diluting my message. Because for every message that you have, you need a new marketing campaign, you need a new proposition, and the more messages you have, the more diluted it becomes, right? Think about like the best, biggest brands in the world. Like think about Apple. Like their message is very simple. It's basically simplicity. You know, that's what they're selling. They're like simple, beautiful user experience, you know? And it was when Apple like cut down the products that they had, you know, when like they initially fired Steve Jobs, all of a sudden they started developing like a million different types of computers, right? And when they and they almost went bankrupt. And then they hired Steve Jobs again. And the first thing that Steve Jobs did, he was like, we've got like 25 types of computers. What we're going to do now is we're going to have two types of computers. We're going to have a personal computer and we're going to have a business computer. And that's it. Right? And when you go to Apple's store, what choice do you have? Well, you can either buy a MacBook Air, a thin one, or you can buy a MacBook Pro, which is like kind of more kind of robust and everything. And that's it. Like go to like, I don't know, bloody Lenovo or any other computer website, like, and you'll get so confused. You'll spend a week trying to figure out kind of like what model to choose, So really it is like simplicity, I think, in a sense. Yeah. Sorry if I went on a ramble, but
no, I love that. I mean, that's a great takeaway, because it really hones in on the idea that it is about specificity, niching down, and really finding your avatar and then solving their problem, or one specific problem, and solving it well, right? Like doing it well. And that's how you get customers, and that's how you keep them rolling in,
Absolutely.
Well, Marek, I appreciate your time, man, for coming on to talk about all this stuff. And let's say somebody needed help with a thesis or a dissertation or academic writing in general and getting published. Where can they reach out to you? Where can they find more about you and learn more about academic English now?
Sure, you can go to our website, academicenglishnow.com, and check out what we offer there, and see if that resonates with you. Or you can also check out my YouTube channel, Academic English Now, where I share a lot of content, and see if that's valuable.
Awesome. Well, we'll drop those links in the show notes so it's easier for everyone to find you. Marek, thank you so much for your time, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.